Hi, I'm Wendy from Baby Assist. I am so delighted that you have joined me on this app. I'm hoping that this is going to be a good journey for you when you start with your baby. The first session is a free session where you can look up things that will help you to prepare for your new baby. This is ideally done during the pregnancy because you can have a look on those sections about what things to buy for your baby, how to prepare the people around you, how to prepare yourself for thinking beyond the birth as well. But I thought it would be really good if I introduced myself and just told you a little bit about myself. Who am I and what have I done and why is it that you can trust me about the information I'm going to share with you? So I'm going to give you a brief history of where I've come from, where it all began, and how I ended up doing what I do. Because this is a really good journey that I've been on. I'm now in my late 50s, and I can't believe the wonderful experiences that I've had in my life to end up doing what I'm doing and to have a job that I absolutely love. I think I've got the best job in the world because I get to play with babies all day long. I cuddle them, and then I go home and I sleep at night. But I just know that I've got some really good experiences behind me. And I've also made some brilliant friends through this journey. So I'm really lucky with what I do. But if I can tell you where my journey started, I grew up in South Africa in a little place called Barberton, a wonderful little town, pretty similar to, in actual fact, the size of where I live now. Now, if you've ever heard of Jock of the Bushveld, this was Jock of the Bushveld country. This story was about a dog and his master who lived in the mining area. And this is basically what Barberton was. It started off as a mining town with lots of gold mines around it. It's got some beautiful jacaranda trees, and it was just really awesome growing up in a place like that. And that's where I started my nursing. I was really lucky to be able to get into doing my nursing in pretty much my hometown. I used to go to Johannesburg to do some college, but then basically ended up qualifying as a registered nurse. But where my real passion lay and where I really fell in love with babies was in Johannesburg Hospital. This is Johannesburg in the night time, in the time that I lived there. And this is the hospital where I did my midwifery. Those buildings at the back there is Johannesburg Hospital. It was a really big hospital and it was great to work there. This particular part of the hospital is what we called Hospital Street. This passage went for an entire kilometer and all the wards would come off the end of that. And it was the most amazing place to work. And this is where I did my midwifery. But then what bothered me is that if there's something wrong with the baby, I actually didn't know how to care for that baby. And so I went ahead and did my intensive care of newborns. And this is where I really found my niche because I loved working with those little tiny prems and helping the parents through that very difficult journey with their babies. So by the time I left Johannesburg Hospital, I was a registered nurse, I was a registered midwife, and I was an intensive care nurse of the newborn. And this was where I stayed working in basically neonatology and pediatrics for quite a long time. And really the thing that changed the most for me and really put me on the path of where I am at the moment is becoming a mother. And you know, the birth of a baby is not just the birth of a baby, but it's the birth of a mother as well. And this was me with my first baby. He was the sweetest little boy, and I was nearly 37 when he was born. And to me, this was a life-changing event. I had been independent up until that point. And really, it was about me learning that this was my baby and I was caring for my baby at home. I was no longer caring for babies in hospital. And I thought I knew it all during the pregnancy. I thought I was going to cream motherhood because how much more qualified could you get? I mean, I'm a midwife and a neonatal nurse, and I've worked with babies for so many years. And you know what happened? I fell flat on my face. I realized what an impact it is to have a baby and to bring that baby home and care for it. And so therefore it wasn't long and I realized that there was a niche in the market to start giving the kind of care that I wanted to do. The kind of education that I should have done for myself was really learning about a baby at home. And so therefore, this was the birth of Baby Assist. I can remember exactly where I was when the name Baby Assist came to me, because that's what I really was doing, is I was assisting mums and dads with their new babies. And this was an exciting journey for me. When my little boy was born, it was to me a huge impact. And I just really struggled through really just settling into motherhood. And so therefore, because of those experiences, I can tell you that I know how it feels to feel like you are completely at a loss. And at the end of your tether sometimes as well, when you're so tired and you don't know what to do with your baby. And I took my baby to my obstetrician at 6 weeks, and I said to her, meet my only child, because I am never doing this again. And she just laughed at me because she knew, oh, well, everybody does it again. And here came my little girl about 4.5 years later. So therefore, I had another opportunity to learn and to be at the coalface again so that I can see what it was really like. And therefore, I went on from there onwards to continue my education and to do a lactation consultant qualification, the IBCLC, which is an international board certified lactation consultant. I've had this qualification now for nearly 12 years. And here I am with my family, with my son and my daughter, and my 2 stepchildren and my husband. This was pretty much at the point of which we made a very important decision. It was a very difficult decision, but this was where I put Baby Assist into a box and we traveled for thousands of kilometers and ended up traveling and immigrating to Tasmania. Yes, that was the place where we started. And once we were there, we spent about a year there. I was back in the intensive care unit of the newborn and working in that environment because that's the job that I found when we immigrated. But it wasn't long. In actual fact, it was exactly a year later, and we moved up to Albury. And I was just so fortunate to be able to apply for the job of lactation consultant at Wodonga Hospital. It was a new clinic they had just started, and this literally landed in my lap at exactly the right time. It was an awesome place to work, and I spent 7.5 years there, really just nutting down a lot of what I needed to learn as well. And I just had the most awesome time. I loved the work there. It was just so important for me to be able to be part of that community and to support mums through their feeding journeys. I spent some time in the ward itself, but I spent a lot of time in the clinic. And I just made so many friends again and so many people that I've helped. You know, I'm even with one mom onto her 4th baby. And so therefore it was quite amazing for me. And when I look at those children now, they would be 10 years old now. And so therefore it's just amazing. But it did get to a time when I decided it was time to take Baby Assist out the box again. I went onto the internet and I thought, what are the chances the name Baby Assist is still around? And blow me down, it was available in Australia. So that's exactly where I was. Blew the dust off everything, but then managed to create a new website and went from there onwards. So I now have the privilege of working with people from a private practice point of view in their homes, and I work with them so that they're in their environment. And I just find this to be the best place to work with parents is in their own home. Yes, there are people who live further than I can travel. And so therefore I do telehealth appointments, but I also have rooms in Albury where people will sometimes come through to see me. I attend to babies' tongue ties. I do infant feeding, and I do a lot of help with infant sleep as well. Now, when it comes to infant feeding, I don't care which way you feed your baby, whether you bottle feed your baby or breastfeed your baby. I'm going to help you. I will walk along the journey with you, and I will not stop until you are satisfied that you know what you're doing with feeding your baby. So now this is where I am, and I really wanted to understand infant sleep because this is really critical because it's such an important environment to work in. Yes, we've had so many things told to us, and a lot of it actually turns out to be myths. So I did my sleep consultancy through an organization called Possums, which is a totally different approach. It's an approach where we just allow the baby's physiology to guide us in as far as sleep is concerned and trying to normalize some of the things that we think are abnormal, but in actual fact, they are normal. So at this time of my life, I bring you over 35 years of experience working with mums and babies with regards to breastfeeding and working with parents with regards to their infant sleep and in actual fact, helping them with every single aspect of parenting. I'm so excited to bring you this app, and I'm hoping that you will find something that will really help you with your parenting journey. This is just the start. We're talking about breastfeeding. We're going to be talking about infant sleep, as well as other important things. And as your baby grows, we will grow with you. There's so much information we can share on starting solids and toilet training and behavior. And there are so many aspects that we will go through. And as I said, this app is going to grow with you and your baby. So welcome to this journey, and I hope you enjoy it. So now that you've learned a little bit more about me and who I am, I hope this has helped you to feel confident that the information that I give you is because of all the experience that I have. Please continue to watch as you go through the things that can help you to prepare for the birth of your new baby.